analysing candles, the key question to always ask is, who is in control? Is it the bulls or is it the bears? We answer that question by looking at a number of components of the candle. First, we look at the real body. The real body is the coloured portion of the candle between the open and close. So for example, in the green candle, the price opened here at the lower edge of the real body and closed at the top of the body. In the red candle, the price opened here at the top of the body and closed down here at the bottom of the real body. So a green candle is bullish, indicating the buyers are in control. The buyers were willing to pay higher prices. They drove the price up from the open to the close at a higher price. Now in comparing these two candles, we see that the larger green body must be more bullish than the smaller green body. The bulls were able to drive the price higher over that same time frame. A red candle is bearish, indicating the sellers are in control. The sellers were willing to offer lower prices in order to offload this stock or security. They drove the price down from the open to close at a lower price. A larger red body is more bearish than a smaller red body. The bears were able to drive the price down a greater distance over that same time frame when compared with the smaller candle. But is it that easy? Can we determine the sentiment of the candle just through analysing the colour and size of the body? What about these candles here? The first has a red body indicating bearish sentiment, but what about this large tail down below the candle? The second candle has a green body, which normally indicates bullish sentiment, but we also have a very large tail above the candle. What does that mean with respect to the sentiment or psychology of the candle? The doji and the fourth candle both have tails above and below. So what does that mean? Determining the sentiment of a candle is not just a matter of analysing the colour and size of the real body. You need to also consider the size of the tails. Let's review the significance of the high and low. The high, firstly, is the highest price at which the buyers were able to drive the price. However, it's also the price at which enough sellers were willing to come into the market to match the buyers and halt that upward climb. And if those sellers or bears were able to then drive the price lower to close a significant distance below the high, well, that indicates potential bearish sentiment. The bears regained control of price and drove it back down, rejecting the higher prices. The low is the lowest price at which the sellers were able to drive the price. However, it's also the price at which enough buyers were willing to come into the market to match the sellers and halt that downward move. And if those buyers or bulls were then able to drive the price higher to close a significant distance above the low, well, that indicates potential bullish sentiment. The bulls regained control of the price and drove it back up, rejecting the lower prices. So reviewing the first candle again, while the body is clearly red and therefore bearish, the tail below the candle shows significant rejection of lower prices. The bulls re-entered the market in sufficient force to drive the prices higher to close at the base of the real body, not far from the high. The size of the wick is clearly much larger than the size of the real body. Overall, this candle is more likely to indicate bullish rather than bearish sentiment. There are some exceptions, because it does depend on the context within which we find the candle, but we'll cover that later. For now, we'll consider this candle largely bullish. For the second candle, while the body is clearly green and therefore bullish, the tail above the candle shows significant rejection of higher prices. The bears re-entered the market in sufficient force to drive the prices lower to close at the top of the real body, not far from the low. The size of the wick is clearly much larger than the size of the real body. Overall, this candle is more likely to indicate bearish rather than bullish sentiment. There are some exceptions once again, but for now, we'll consider this candle largely bearish. The third candle, the doji, displays a bullish rejection of lower prices, driving prices up from the low point to the close, and a bearish rejection of higher prices, driving them from the high back down to the close. In the end, the price closed where it opened at mid-range of the candle with equal tails above and below. This displays a matching of both bullish and bearish sentiment. Neither the bulls nor the bears are in control at this point in time. Same for the fourth candle. Although the bulls were able to score a slight victory in finishing with a small range green body, there is significant rejection of both prices above and below, with the close at approximately mid-range, right near the open. Once again, this is no definitive victory for either the bulls or the bears. So to summarise, in order to determine the sentiment of an individual candle, ask yourself, who is in control, the bulls or the bears? The answer to that question will be revealed through a combination of the size and colour of the real body and the size of the tails above and below. In the next video, we'll continue the introduction to candles. For now, review some candlestick charts to determine the bullish and bearish sentiment of individual candles.